Today in this video, we will try and simplify the activation function. Hello all budding data scientists and machine learning enthusiasts. My name is Neeraj Sabnani and welcome to Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning Simplified. In this video, we will cover the role of activation function and some of the commonly used activation functions like softmax, ReLU, leaky ReLU, etc. We'll also understand the problem of vanishing gradient and dying ReLU and what are the corresponding solutions. So in human nervous system, activation function defines whether the neuron will fire or not fire. Similarly, in the artificial neural network, output from the node depends on all the input value which are coming to the node from the previous value and also the activation function applied on that specific node. In the example video which we saw earlier, a simple neural network having bunch of input nodes and an output node. So let's recap that example where we had a coaching institute which is in the business of providing online courses, and the sales team wants to understand whether the prospect having a specific attributes on education, age, experience is likely to join the course or not. And to determine that, we developed a ML model where we created a very simple neural network having 3 input nodes which provides the information about prospects, education, age and experience, and these were combined using weights W1, W2, W3, and they were passed on to the next node. So at this node, an sigmoid activation function which squashes the value between 0 and 1, sigmoid activation function was applied in, and in this step then we convert this score which is lying between 0 and 1 to a value which is either 1 or 0 based on a threshold. So let's say threshold is 0.5, then any score above the threshold of 0.5 is labeled as 1, having a probability of person likely to join the course, whereas if the score is below 0.5 we label it as 0 with the person not likely to join the course. In this example we have only 2 classes, and as a result we used an sigmoid activation function at the output node. If we had more classes, we could have used softmax activation function as well. Typically softmax is used in multi-class and we leverage sigmoid for the 2 classes. So let's consider a scenario where we add one more hidden layer to this neural network and we pass on the values from the hidden layer directly without applying any activation function to the hidden layer. So if we do not apply an activation function to the hidden layer, we are just passing on the values directly from this hidden layer. So in this hidden layer, we are labeling it as H, we are labeling output node as Y and the input node as X. We have the bias term of B0 and B1 respectively in the input and the hidden layer. So we can express Y as a function of inputs coming from the hidden node and the weight of W2 and the bias term B1. We can replace this H which is getting the inputs from X1 and has a bias of B0. Once we do that and we replace H in the previous equation and applying some of the rearrangement of the terms and the simple multiplication, what we see is Y can be expressed as a function of X and a constant term. So in this case, effectively Y is expressed as a linear function of the input values and a constant term. So hence if we are not applying a activation function in the hidden layer, output value which we get can be expressed simply as a linear combination of the input values. So now let's look at some of the commonly occurring activation functions for the output nodes. So in case of classification algorithm, and in this case we have shown a neural network where we're trying to, in case of classification we typically end up using softmax as an activation function, and in specific cases of 2 classes, that is binary classification, sigmoid can also be used. And in case of regression, since we get the output value, an activation function may not be required. However, if all the values are positive, then ReLU can also be considered as an activation function for an output layer. Next, let's try and understand what are the typical activation functions which are used for the hidden nodes. So in this neural network, we have considered one hidden layer and we have not added any activation function to this. So hidden layer is directly passing the data to the output node. And this neural network is used for classifying a data set having two classes, lion and elephant. And if we look at this data set visually on the two-dimensional plot, a linear separator is good enough to segregate these two data sets, and they can be easily separated by this linear classifier. However, if the complexity of the data set increases and it becomes difficult, let's say for a linear separator to segregate this data set, and let's say we require non-linear separator, then from the network perspective, we can achieve that by applying a non-linear transformation, in this case something like sigmoid activation function, to the hidden layer. So as we see here, once we have applied the sigmoid activation function, we are able to segregate these two classes of lion and elephant through this non-linear curve in this case. And the shape of curve is non-linear as compared to the linear curve which we had earlier. However, in case there is more complexity in the data set, we may need to increase the non-linearity of the classifier even further. The classifier with one hidden layer may not be able to do the work, and from the network perspective, we may require multiple hidden layers. So in this case, we have shown 3 hidden layers and we have applied the sigmoid function for all the 3 hidden layers. And we see on the right hand side, from visualization perspective, the separator is having even more non-linearity, and it is able to segregate the two classes of lion and elephant to a great extent. However, as the number of hidden layers increases in the deep network, specifically when we use the sigmoid activation function, then there is a problem of vanishing gradient, which means the value of the gradient, which is our partial derivative of loss with respect to weight. So the loss is basically the difference between the predicted output from the network and the actual output. So we look at the loss and we compute the differential of loss with respect to all these weights, and the value of this gradient or the value of this loss becomes 0 as the layers become deep in the case of sigmoid activation function. As a result, during the training process, the updates of weight does not happen in different iterations of the deep learning. And since the weights are not changing, the neural network is not able to learn any further, even if we increase the number of iterations. So let's understand this problem of vanishing gradient with mathematically. So if we see on the graph, and if we apply the sigmoid activation function, this activation function squashes the value of output between 0 and 1. However, if I look at the gradient, it basically has the range of 0 to 0.25. And for specifically very high values of x and very low values, the value of this gradient is very, very close to 0. So since this value of the gradient is very, very close to 0, it prevents the network to learn and update the weights to optimize this loss of the error. So as neural network uses gradient in the back propagation to update these weights are not updated. We'll cover the details of the back propagation in another video. So how do we solve this problem of vanishing gradient? See, commonly used solution is to apply a different activation function. Something like a commonly used activation function is ReLU, which is also known as rectified linear unit. In this example, we have applied ReLU transformation to all the three layers of the network, and if we see visually as well, the network or the separator is even more non-linear, and it is able to segregate the two classes in a much better manner. So let's understand mathematically what is the ReLU function, what does it do, what is the mathematical form of this function. So if we look at it, in this case, for the negative values of x, the value of the function is 0. That is, y is 0 when the value of the x is negative. And in cases where x is positive, y is having the same value as x. So ReLU function is able to perform much better than the sigmoid function, specifically to remove the problem of the vanishing gradient. However, in some random cases, we also find another problem with ReLU, which is known as a dying ReLU problem. So in case of dying ReLU, some of the nodes of the network are not performing and participating in the network. While this characteristic that few nodes are not participating gives ReLU its strength, that is, it adds the network sparsity, it helps in avoiding the overfitting, it becomes a problem when majority of the input nodes to this ReLU are negative in range. And the worst scenario will be when the entire network itself dies, meaning network just becomes a constant function. So when most of the neurons return 0 as an output, gradient fails to flow in this case as well during backpropagation, and weights do not get updated. Ultimately, a large part of the network becomes inactive and it is not able to learn any further. This problem typically happens in two scenarios. One could be when we have a high learning rate. So in this case, if I look at it, during the backpropagation, the weight is updated, which is dependent on the earlier weight, and then it is dependent on the gradient of the error with respect to weight and the learning rate. So in case we are having a highly negative learning rate, or a learning rate is a very high value, the new value of the weight becomes highly negative, which results in negative input flowing into the ReLU node. And as we know, once a negative input flows into the ReLU node, the output from there is 0, and it causes the dying ReLU problem, and the network and the node is not participating in that network. Also, in case we have high negative bias value, that is when bias is less than minus Wx, again the input to the ReLU is highly negative, and again it is not contributing to the network. So this problem of dying ReLU can be solved if we apply a small modification to the ReLU. And then some of the commonly used modification are, we apply a different form of ReLU function which we called as leaky ReLU or parametric ReLU. So in leaky ReLU, we basically have a small value of y when x is, we use a parameter there, that is alpha x, for when x is less than 0, and in case alpha is equal to 0.01, this becomes same as leaky ReLU. With this modification, we are able to solve the problem of dying ReLU, because now it will no longer be a 0 value for y, and then weights will be there, and then those nodes will participate in the network. Another way of solving this problem is we can also use an exponential or ELU or exponential linear unit as an activation function, where again we have alpha e raised to power x minus 1 as the value of transformation or the value of activation, and again y is expressed using a parameter alpha in this. So to recap, we looked at role of activation function, we looked at different types of activation functions like softmax, ReLU, leaky ReLU, PReLU, ELU. We also saw the problem of vanishing gradient in case of sigmoid activation, and we also understood the challenge with dying ReLU, and how we resolve these problems. I hope you found this video useful. Please like this video by clicking on the like button and share with your friends. Kindly subscribe the channel to receive more updates. Thank you all and happy learning.